Thanks for stopping in to We Kalled It. I'm your host, Philip Call, contributor at the Action Network. Once again, Connor Lucas is back after a little bit of delay for some softball. Connor, how was your softball games?
Well, I got switched the softball games and all that. It's on Thursday, which I guess I should say I had to switch this to Wednesday. So everything's fine now. Don't worry. I'll be more of a regular contributor again. Everybody was not that worried, but
There was a lot of outcry. No one liked Anthony, our fill-in for you.
that's it.
But did you win your softball games? Was it worth skipping out on us?
It was literally just practice. We haven't. This is the first time people have gotten out, and people have gotten out.
Practice?
You skipping us for practice?
Some nice whole team. It's like my dad. It's a church team. It's basically my dad's team. So everyone has to get loosened up. 4 weeks before the season starts.
4 weeks.
It doesn't start until 2 weeks from now. They were out tonight. I skipped it tonight for you guys. They were out hitting softballs tonight.
That sounds. Is this real competitive league, or are they just taking it serious?
It's not really that competitive. I mean, they can be. It's church league, but then people start bringing in ringers. So my dad starts bringing in ringers, and
Wow,
that kind of thing.
that's why he gets the young gun, former college receiver, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I go out and try and hit a ball and run really fast to first base.
All right. Then we also again have Dr. Kenneth Call. He had some technical issues, so I'm sorry that it looks like he is recording from an Afghani cave, but it's okay. How you doing, Ken?
All right, we got Wi-Fi over here, so I think I'll be pretty good.
He has dial-up right now.
When my team plays rec basketball, we don't even get there on time, to start for tip-off of the first game of the year. So the first time we'll actually touch the basketball is after our first game actually starts.
So I just played basketball for the first time 2 weeks ago in 3 years, and I was pretty much worthless.
See, the thing is, I play basketball every Saturday morning. It's 6:30 in the morning. It's a bunch of dads who go and play before their kids get up, or they have a kids' soccer game and things like that. So I'm younger than them, so I just run down the court faster. I don't have to be good. I don't have to be anything. Just younger and slightly more in shape. Unfortunately, we've had a couple people start showing up who are younger than me, and it sucks. But I'm officially booted out of being useful. All right. Before we get started, I have big news. This weekend, I was out in Kroger, and I saw some pretzel buns, and I was making burgers. And even though they were an extra $1.50 for 4 less buns, I spent the $2.50 in order to get them. And so I just want to share with the whole listener base, I guess. I'm not always extremely prudent. It's just DiGiorno stuffed crust pizza is definitely not worth $2. However, pretzel buns, if you have the opportunity, absolutely buy them.
And the fact that, Ken, could you just tell me that you knew that Kroger had pretzel buns before, 20 seconds ago? Because apparently that was just
It did blow my mind. I had no idea they existed.
So unfortunately, here in Cleveland, we don't have Kroger. So no, I have no clue.
Did you know that regular grocery stores sell pretzel buns? You don't have to go to a high-end burger joint to get them. You did. Okay, good. All right.
I know that now, and I will spend that extra $1.25 because I'm already saving $2. Still a net positive.
We better move on, because if we're going to talk about pretzel buns the whole time, I'm going to jump off right now.
All right, we're good.
If this is
no more
example of not being prudent, and it was $2.50, I'm sorry, he's not selling anyone.
That's fair.
Dummy.
All right, before we get into real football talk, please comment, subscribe. I think Spotify just added a thing where you can rate podcasts, so we'd appreciate if you went and gave us 5 stars. Get the word out. We have great information for everyone. Pretzel buns are available at your nearest Kroger. So please,
or get our any grocery store.
Get our publicity up. All right, so we're gonna start off with the big highlight story. We weren't here last week, so we didn't cover it. Deshaun Watson is officially a Cleveland Brown, sitting with $253 million in his bank account, fully guaranteed. Last time we were here, unfortunately, we were given the news that he wasn't going to be a Brown, so just ignore last episode and everything we said. But Connor, since you weren't here, you can give us your thoughts. Deshaun Watson going to the Browns. We're going to stay in between the goal lines on this one. Nothing off the field.
Hold on a minute. That is literally like 90% of the story.
All right, fine. We can go there. Just keep it PG.
All right. I mean, you don't have to. Okay, fine. It's not that hard. Man, like you almost kind of wish that for the fan base, like you put them in a really tough spot because I'm sure you're going to have everyone who's like, hey, if this was anywhere else, we'd be really upset that they're just, taking on some guy who's, got a really bad reputation. He's terrible for the game of football. But now you put them in a position where it's like, well, he assaulted some people, maybe. He's probably still going to get suspended for at least 6 games. He's probably questionable and at best on his personal choices, but is he an all-pro? Yes, he is. Is he potentially a top 5 quarterback? Yes, he is. So we'll take that risk. And by the way, not only take that risk, fully guaranteed. And by the way, I read a stat about his actual contract structure, and just the way his lawyer, his agent, whoever did the books and whoever did his contract needs to be like, well, depending on how you look at it, either given a ginormous percent of this $253 million, or he's the biggest, slimiest person in the entire world because he got his first year salary net is like $1 million. Why is that important? Because if he gets fined in his first year, his fine is going to be based off a percentage of his first year contract, which means his fine is only going to be based off of $1 million, likely. That was how Shefty, I think, reported it.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on who you are, you could be like, wow, guy's awesome. Or you could be like, wow, guy's the worst human being ever in the history of ever, except for maybe Hitler and maybe Stalin. Yeah, those people. That a normal bad person, let's put it that way, not a crazy dictator. But hey, can he be top 5? Yes. Can he be top 5 in Cleveland? Maybe. Does everyone go to Cleveland and die? Yeah. I don't know. You guys are Cleveland fans, so you guys got to tell me what you guys are thinking. I don't know the fan base. I know that the guy at work who's just like, yeah, I care about wins. I'm like, all right. Like Ray Lewis should probably be on your team too. Back in the day,
we're gonna go grab Ray Lewis, Justin Blackman. I don't know who else, but yeah, Josh Gordon. We got Josh Gordon through all that. Ken, you go ahead. Tell us your thoughts on that. Let's hear your thoughts.
Josh Gordon didn't really do anything too bad to others. So I mean, if we're comparing, personalities, I'm sorry, they're not comparable. But real quick, when people get these massive contracts, it's very common. Now, this is not putting anything aside. His agent knew exactly what he was doing when they did make this contract. But for example, Josh Allen's first year after his long extension, do you know what his base was for that first year? $900,000. Aaron Rodgers this year, his base after getting that huge one, and this after these huge sign-on bonuses. I think it's like 1.6 million. It's not a lot. With that being said, I don't know. I had a nice long argument about this in our group chat, but I'm sure that structure was a prerequisite for every team who was going to sign him. I don't think this is some guy doing magic. I think this was a pretty obvious and very crappy, in terms of, hey, doing this to avoid money. But at the same time, one thing that it's kind of looking at is if he gets suspended after this year, Like, say you get, that those years, he's going to get ripped a lot more in terms of, money out of his pocket. And that, with the way that these like civil suits are going, with the fact that he's planning to fight those, I mean, it is very possible that he doesn't get suspended at all this year. A lot of that has to do with him saying he wants to fight it. He doesn't want, this tarnish on his, personal record. He's adamantly denying everything. Whether you believe it one way or another doesn't matter. Point is, he is trying to do that, but with that, it will prolong these civil cases. Now, in terms of being a Brown fan, it really does oh yeah, we're immediately competitive again. Before this, we weren't competitive with the Ravens and the Bengals. We were definitely, in my opinion, closer to the Steelers in this division, and we immediately go straight to, we're competitive again. The big thing that I see in terms of the whole NFL is we just guaranteed a guy who didn't play for 1 year a whole lot of money, and the issue with that is everybody else who is he could be a top 5 quarterback. There are for sure, at least 7 quarterbacks that you can argue deserve his exact contract. And they're going to be coming up. And the Browns actually might have done something brilliant, and we might have outpriced Lamar Jackson. And once Joe Burrow needs an extension, maybe these teams don't want to pay him that much. That was a big thing on Cleveland radio today was, the Bengals, they're going to have to do a 8-figure check or 8 or 9-figure check for Joe Burrow eventually here. And so maybe they don't. Would be awesome if they didn't. But the fact is that they might have just priced a lot of quarterbacks out in a time when our division is very competitive. Lamar Jackson's contract's a big thing in the news right now. I don't know. Might be beneficial down the future. But the truth is, people like this don't come, even with a record like Watson, with a reputation like him right now, those players still don't come to Cleveland. We didn't have to, pay up an extra 25%. We had to guarantee 100% extra on him. And unfortunately, that's what you have to do to be competitive, and the Browns did it.
You think it was a good move or not, Ken?
For the team, great move. I don't know. I'm so torn.
How does the fan base feel about this?
So
fan base, very torn.
I was gonna say in our group chat, it is exactly what you think. There is 2 outspoken, this is the right move. 2 outspoken, this is the wrong move. Everyone else in the middle, I don't want to say anything. Someone's gonna yell at me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. Given the Browns' talent in the AFC, I'm just so excited that the Browns have a team that, if Watson plays, can actually compete for an AFC championship. Just between, there's the Bills, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Ravens, the Bengals. Now we won't be sitting there being all right, we need Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to have 130 yards and 2 touchdowns at halftime to have a shot in the game. Last year, I think we brought up Baker Mayfield was 0-4 in games where the Browns had a 50% win probability at some point in the fourth quarter, where it was a close game, 50-50. Browns lost all 4 of them. So now I was a big fan of Deshaun Watson in his last year of playing, when it was Brandon Cooks, and Will Fuller, and he didn't have an offensive line. He was just running around chucking the ball. Of course, all of this is one of those things where it is tarnished, obviously, for the events around it. But if you're going to root for the name on the front and not the name on the back, I still think it's okay to support the Browns. But I don't blame people for jumping ship. I mean,
it just puts everybody in a really awkward position.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. Well, it's
in this group right now. Yeah.
And you got all the jokes about I don't know if everybody knows, but you need to start investing somewhere. Start putting your money in massage therapists in Cleveland, Ohio. Start parking your money there.
Yeah, I've heard a lot. I can't say most of them because
I know
they're
I wanna
related
share,
to
but I
the
shouldn't.
what is allegedly occurred. So can't really quote that.
One thing I'd like to point out is it turns out nobody liked Baker. If anybody, really thought he was worth, I mean, 18 million is not a lot for a 1 year, tryout essentially for a team. And I know a lot of people kind of had their spots filled already, but nobody is knocking down the door for Baker. There's a chance that we might just have to straight release him and bite that bullet. Who knows? But Jarvis, didn't want to. Or his first offer to the team was like, "Oh, I'll come back for 20 million." We cut him because we didn't want to pay him 15, and he said, "I'll come back for 20." Then now he's like, "Oh, I'll negotiate." Jadeveon Clowney, he was much more interested in coming back after Watson. And then you obviously hear about the Odell stuff, but the fact that there's still interest, there's more interest in playing with us now with Watson than Baker. This shows you, number one, how people felt about Baker, but number two, the difference that a top, I mean, inarguably top 7 quarterback in the NFL. Also, he's only a year and a half older than Joe Burrow. I mean, he's still young. He still has his best years ahead of him.
Yeah, like I said, I'm excited, and given the state of the AFC quarterbacks, when we did our quarterback tierings and talkings, we said the top 6 or 7 are all in the AFC except for Ken, who threw out some garbage. So, all right, for years to come, Aaron and Brady being back obviously make them some of the best this year, but they're not going to be there for long. All right, so Connor, Baker Mayfield was my next topic.
I was going to say, speaking of this,
do you think there's any place for him? What do you think the Browns should do? Should they wait for, a QB injury? Because that's going to happen. Someone's going to tear their ACL in training camp.
Best case scenario was the Colts. That fell through because they went and got an old, tarnished, half live arm Matt Ryan, who can't move at all. He was like, "Hey, game is going to get more athletic. I'm just going to stay the same way." And
hey, he had a nice run against the Bills for 15 yards. Got tackled at the 1 and blew the game, but whatever.
I'm trying to think of who else is even
the Panthers and the Seahawks are the 2 rumored teams, but the Panthers have already said no because they have $20 million to Sam Darnold, and then the Seahawks are the only other one, and that's because they have Drew Lock. But I can't even. That doesn't make sense to me.
Then those guys don't have high picks in the upcoming drafts.
I'm hoping for a 4th or 5th rounder, but at this point,
even though the upcoming draft though doesn't have great QBs, I mean, it makes sense to go to. Truthfully, it makes sense to go to Seattle. Similar kind of feel. Carroll wants to run the ball first. He wouldn't have to do a ton. He's got DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. Maybe, because I think the Chiefs were calling about DK. I don't know, man. I honestly think he might have played himself out of a starting role for at least a year. I think someone may sign him and put him as a backup, or put him in an immediate competition. I don't see him outright winning anything. He wants to a guarantee to play, right? Like Cam Newton. Cam Newton came out the other day and was told Adam Schefter he's got multiple teams interested in him, but he wants to make sure that he has the fair opportunity to play. Cam, guess what, pal? Time's up. You're back up now. You come in, you come off the bench, somebody gets hurt. Hey, bring it in here, pal. Need you to win a couple games. Then you go back to the bench. That's what you're in for now, Cam. That's just Baker, I feel like, is almost on his way there.
So to that point, I believe Baker is better than maybe 4 or 5 starters. I'm thinking Dan Jones, Jalen Hurts, Tua. But why would those teams trade for Baker? They're not going to give up their quarterback, so you're going to have a quarterback controversy, and you're going to be giving a lot of money to them. And then, you're not the movement from them to Baker isn't even that much. So what's the point? I don't know. There's just no.
A loaded QB draft in 23.
Yeah.
Got 2 guys that are going to go in the top 5. So, hey, you might want to start tanking. And, oh, by the way, that's just the people that are here right now on the radar. You're probably going to have 2 or 3 more guys pop up that come up and say, oh, they could sneak into the first round. So
I did see something really smart from Shannon Sharp. They were talking about the news Baker to the Steelers. And it was like, if you don't think Baker's any good, you should just give him to the Steelers. Because he could probably start for the Steelers this year. It's like, and you're screwing him over for the next 5 years until they decide he's garbage.
Trubisky's there, so that doesn't help now.
Yeah, he'd start over Trubisky, though. At least I think so. A healthy Baker, I'd take over a healthy Trubisky. Have you seen Trubisky try to throw the ball?
Yes. Yes, I have. It's not right there.
Yeah, he can run more. That's the only advantage. Ken, we've been talking.
I don't know.
What are you thinking?
So we've talked before about just QB purgatory, and the truth is, I think that the worst place that a team could be at is with someone honestly like Baker Mayfield, where it's like, this guy, is he good? We don't know. And look at us. We had to look at it for several years, and we were still like, I don't know. I would rather have, Deshaun Kaiser for my team, because I know right away, hey, I'm not going to win with this quarterback. We need to fix it. We need to switch it right now. It's all about, I'm not doing any wasted years with him. 1 year, done, whoops, we got to go back to the drawing board. Truth is, you need someone more than Baker to win a Super Bowl. Honestly, we had look at us 2 years ago. We had a good team. We had a good defense. We had good weapons around Baker. What did we do? We lost after winning 1 game in the playoffs. If you talk to Cleveland fans, you would have thought that we went to the Super Bowl, man. I'm sorry. I kind of think that is Baker's cap, right? There's 1 win in the playoffs. That's not what you're looking for from a team. So I'm not saying Deshaun Kaiser is better than Baker. I'm saying I'd rather know that he sucks than not know what I got.
All right, let's get this out the way. We always talk about Kirk Cousins on this show. Ken, Kirk Cousins, are you keeping him as your quarterback or not? Because clearly he has shown he can be a viable quarterback in the NFL and make he's been a 500-ish quarterback for every team he's been on. Or would you say, I got to move on from this? I want more upside and the chance to win a Super Bowl.
Just extended him.
Mm-hmm.
How long did they extend him?
1 or 2 years. It's like guaranteed money.
And I was going to say, how much money is it?
Kirk Cousins, I think he's made $250 million as a quarterback because of the ridiculous franchise tags, being free agent. I don't know why more quarterbacks don't think of Kirk Cousins as a role model.
You know who should think of him as? You know who should think of him as a role model? The ones that can't win. Period. Make money. Good for you. Unfortunately, I think Kirk Cousins is that prime fear of, you're not going to win. You're going to keep us competitive. If that's what you're looking for, great. But I'm sorry. How much money has he made? How many playoff wins does he have? I'm sorry. Not worth it. He is the best quarterback in QB purgatory. I would prefer to have someone I know either sucks or someone who I know has got it.
All right. Speaking of QBs in purgatory, Matt Ryan wasn't here his whole career. At one point, he looked like a guy that could win a Super Bowl, and then they blew it. But now he's on the Colts, and he does not look anywhere near as good as he once did. Connor, where are you on the Colts right now? Because, all right, just hear me out. Hear me out. Do you think with Matt Ryan they are better than they were with Carson Wentz? That's the whole idea, because that team was a borderline playoff team. And right now, the only team they got to get ahead is the Titans, right? They have equal win total projection.
Right. How they do with Phillip Rivers? Did they go 1 and done?
They were 10-6, made the playoffs and lost.
Did. Okay, just repeat that. Wash, rinse, repeat. It's come on. What else do they have? What do they have that's different? What do they have that's different on their roster? Jonathan Taylor. Okay, that's a big deal. How did it work for them this year? They have a fantastic defense. You have a guy who, let's see. Who did they have? Did they have Jonathan Taylor? Was he a rookie 2 years ago?
Yep.
Yeah. So he was basically taking over at that point. Maybe Frank Reich is different. I don't know. Maybe it's because Frank Reich would be taking over and he'd be calling the plays. Maybe. I have a tough time believing that Matt Ryan is going to be the answer too. And my guess is, I don't know. Next year they'll be taking a quarterback too. And guess what? You just locked up a whole bunch of Matt Ryan money too. So you got to. You're going to have to take a quarterback on a rookie deal. So.
Do they have a first-round pick next year? I don't know how much they gave up for Carson Wentz.
They have one next year. They don't have one this year.
Okay.
So
I don't know. That's an interesting thing with Matt Ryan. I mean, you look at it. So Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Colts, Titans, Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Bills, Pats, Dolphins.
Their only hope is to beat the Titans. They get ahead of the Titans.
11 teams. 4 of those teams are not going to make the playoffs. And every single one of them, I mean, they're trying. You know, the Finns. I didn't even put the Raiders on here because, sorry, that division's a tough one. But, man, does Matt Ryan put you over the top? You know, I don't know. Is your goal to make it to the playoffs and get wrecked? You know, maybe. But I got to tell you, Matt Ryan, he went 7-10 last year with the worst team that's ever been, or that was assembled last year. I'm sorry. The Falcons had Russell Gage as their number 1 receiver, Cordell Patterson as their running back. Like, it's amazing he did what he did. No defense. I actually think their offensive line didn't give him a second either. And the year before, they had Julio Jones, who was good when he was on the field, and Calvin Ridley, who was a very, very good receiver. And get rid of those guys. I'm sorry. That team had nothing when they won 7 games. That has to be a little bit impressive. But unfortunately, it's not putting you over any of these teams.
They played a crappy division.
Still, they were in competition for the playoffs in week 16. They would have
crappy division.
So they would have made the wild card. That's a conference thing. Yeah.
Crappy division. Listen, that's like the Eagles getting waxed by Tampa in this year. They were a 500 team, and then they get in, and people are like, "Yeah, they had a pretty good season." You played the Cowboys. You played the Skins.
All right. To Connor's point,
there was nobody on that team. The Falcons, there was no one on that team.
I was on your side, and I've always been that Matt Ryan carried them to 7 wins. But listen to the teams they beat: Giants, Jets, Dolphins, Saints, Jaguars, Panthers, Lions.
Come on!
It is like I was way higher on Matt Ryan until I actually saw that, and that was a whole 2 seconds ago.
Hey guys, I agree with Connor. No, but really. They might, honestly, I'm actually really high on the Titans this year. I don't think they have a chance to win the division. I just don't think, they're ceiling. Good team. Sorry. In the NFC, they go to the playoffs. Maybe they win a game. Not in the AFC.
I don't know. I'm excited for this team to be a feisty team. They're going to end up, 9.5 is a good win total, but I would take the under for sure. I like the 9 or an 8 win team, but I can see them because of their physical style just being one of those annoying teams that, they play the Chiefs and they win 20-13 or something like that. They're going to be just one of those bad teams you don't want to bet against because they play tough. They're well coached, but you just can't bet on Matt Ryan, especially in the loaded AFC. And right now, I take Ryan Tannehill over him. And I also think the Titans just have a better supporting cast, too. So it's hard to see them as a playoff team. I understand why they made this move, and I'm happy that they didn't give up much. They gave up a 3rd-round pick. The Falcons ate most of his contract. So they're like, we're going to stay viable, and we're just going to play for a pick next year while, having that wild card kind of pedigree as a 500-ish team. All right.
You talk about beating the Chiefs, honestly, I don't know how, their offseason has gone pretty rough in my opinion in terms of win now. Are we going to talk about Tyreek Hill?
I was going to say Tyreek Hill's the next topic. So Ken, go ahead, talk about your win now take, as Connor and I have been on when we talk about franchise QBs. We ranked young quarterbacks higher, and you're like, Aaron Rodgers, number 2. I want to win a Super Bowl next year. So let's hear about how they blew it because they have Patrick Mahomes locked up for 10 years, and we're going to give Tyreek Hill a completely absurd contract.
Don't get me wrong. I'm still picking the Chiefs to win the conference. But at the same time, I mean, you just took away Tyreek Hill and you replaced him with Juju Smith-Schuster and MVS. I'm sorry. They have Byron Pringle, was decent for them last year. It just shows you that he has not had good receivers besides Tyreek Hill. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. If you look at that Mahomes stats, they actually look just fine without Tyreek Hill. But in a division where the Broncos, the Chargers, even the Raiders are doing everything they can to catch up to you, I don't know. I hate getting rid of Tyreek Hill. I think he is – there's just no replacing him. When you talk about top-tier receivers, he is top 1, 2, 3 in terms of what he brings to an offense, how he scares the defense. He has – when you talk about game-breaking ability, I mean, just look at what was it? It was like a 75-yard touchdown in the against the Bills in the playoffs when the Bills were maybe not in a prevent defense, but they're in a don't give up a huge play. He ran past everybody. I'm sorry, like that is something special. It's unique to Tyreek Hill. Nobody else in the league does it like him.
No one else does it, and now he has Tua throwing to him who can't throw the ball past 20 yards, though. Him and Jalen Waddle are going to be running crossers. That's it.
No, Tyreek made money. That he wasn't trying to get deep balls. He was trying to make money, and he nailed it.
Yeah. All right, Connor, as a receiver, I know you got to love the combination and burst that Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill bring to a football team, but when you see Tua, like, what's that?
I just don't know. I don't know how they're going to work, meaning you just have a lot of similar route trees. The Chiefs decided last year that they would start using him as a slot more than, an outside receiver, and that's where Waddle plays. Waddle was a kind of a gadgety, short route guy who's going to get 20 catches and like 60 yards in a game. And then you kind of go, okay, Tyreek had some similar stat lines like that for a couple of games last year, and because they couldn't hit the home run ball. So now you think, well, Mahomes can throw it really far. Tua can't. So now you're going to go, which one's going to win? Because you can now put – what is that? 8 in the box. You put 8 in the box now because Tyreek can't go long anymore. It's going to be underneath routes. You put 8 in the box because Tua can't get it to him up the seam for that long. So you got 2 guys running short and intermediate routes. And, I'll give the credit, Finn's credit. They went out and they said, hey, Tua's our guy. We're going to do literally everything to find out if he is the guy, and we are going to tank our team if he's not. So kudos to them. If Tua sucks now, he is going to be dead. Like, they might be out of the league in 3 years. I'm not sure. Probably.
It'd be
so
like
Connor, are you saying that you're either going to know you got a guy or you're going back to the drawing board? Because isn't that better for a team?
Well, here's the problem, though. They also tanked their entire draft this year and next year and got a whole bunch of dead weight with them now with Tyreek guaranteed. And 2 years, if it doesn't work, guess what? Jalen Waddle is going to be on the market. Tyreek Hill is going to be on the market. You might be starting back even further had you not done anything.
Yeah. They can get Baker next year, though.
I was going to say,
they
could be a perfect suitor to bring in Baker and be like, hey, you have similar problems to Tua, in my opinion, where he doesn't have – I mean, he has a really good arm if he winds up to throw, but I don't think he's known for his deep ball.
There's just not any move that I've went across and been this year in the free agency have I been man, that was just a home run. Maybe the Browns, maybe in terms of on-field play.
Whoa. J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack going over to the Chargers, I think. phenomenal.
I guess I'm talking about offenses.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
talking about
that's
offense,
fair.
offenses. Russell Wilson, maybe. But you got a whole lot of guys that need fed in Denver. I don't know.
So going real quick with the Dolphins, I do love the fact where they're like, you know what, screw it, we're going for speed. We're gonna have one thing. We're gonna have the fastest playmakers out there between Tyreek, Waddle, Chase Edmonds, and Raheem Mostert. By the way, I love Raheem Mostert. He might just be a product of the 49ers. He probably is, but man, he's fast. I love his breakaway abilities. But they're just like, we're gonna try to stretch the field with fast receivers. We're gonna try to get fast people in, a big explosive offense. They didn't upgrade their line much. I think they picked up one lineman, but their whole line was a problem. It was kind of like a Bengals-esque line for them last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the truth is, it's I love how they're trying to get fast. They're trying to spread out the offense, trying to give. I mean, they're giving Tua every single opportunity. Going back to it,
Well, but you can't win off of bubble screens and out routes.
Exactly. And I guess they're hoping that Tyreek can stretch a field somehow.
Well, the underrated move, in my opinion, is Mike McDaniel, right? He's coming from the 49ers, where Jimmy G didn't throw the ball deep, but they ran the ball effectively because they used misdirection, and they created good opportunities for their wide receivers in space. Like, Mike McDaniel seems like a perfect fit or a Kyle Shanahan style offense, given that Tua's their quarterback, where you're not relying on the deep pass. It's West Coast in style. It's run focused, but you also use your receivers, and you give them the ball in space rather than giving them the deep play, letting them make a play deep. So does Mike McDaniel swing your opinion on this? I'll share mine after you guys go.
Mike McDaniels do what?
Does he make the Dolphins seem better with Tua than they should be because you think he can bring a Kyle Shanahan kind of effect?
Maybe. What do you want me to say? I don't know what you want me to say. I'm totally lukewarm on this whole build around Tua because I was not a fan of Tua.
Okay, so you're that low on Tua. Ken?
I mean, Mike McDaniel's not Kyle Shanahan. That's a big one. You can try to mimic him all you want. Good luck. I honestly, for them, I hope it works. When you say, what Shanahan did in San Francisco, it's hide Tua behind talent and, misdirection. You're just trying to hide a bad quarterback. I hope it works for him. I don't know. I'm not as high on him.
Could he be Alex Smith? Maybe.
Yeah. So my take is Mike McDaniel is going to run a similar offense, but I have a man crush on Kyle Shanahan and the way he coaches and calls plays. And I think Kyle Shanahan's play in the first quarter sets up his plays in the third quarter. And I think Mike McDaniel will try to mimic that, but that won't happen. So I'm with you guys. Two is out next year, and unless they get, a dynamic quarterback, it's just going to be a sad year. I could see them drafting like a Malik Willis and taking a gamble on like a home run play. And then if you love Tua after 1 year, you trade off Willis, because you'll still get a second rounder for him.
The one thing I didn't like that McDaniel said was like, "Oh, we're going to use Tyreek Hill like Debo." I was like, "You said Debo as a power running back sometimes." Debo was all about breaking a tackle and just being a good runner. Tyreek is, don't get me wrong, he's super fast. Sure, you can hand him the ball off, but you better get it to him in space. Oh my God. He will die if he tries to do what Debo did. Debo's mean with the ball, man.
All right. I'm going to pull up win totals. We're just going to take a quick look at them before we get going. But if you guys have any thoughts on them, we can share those. We talked already a little bit about the Colts. So just give me 1 minute. All right. Oh, come on. All right, so you guys should see them now. We can just run through by division. So something shocking me is how low the Patriots are. I guess they haven't done anything at 8.5 with an 8.5 win total compared to the Dolphins, or they're tied with the Dolphins. I don't know. It's just hard for me to believe that the Dolphins and the Patriots are valued the same at the moment. Because I think right now, if they played, I'd still take the Patriots to win.
I think it all has to do with, the big news around the Dolphins. They're making moves. I think it's more of an overreaction than anything. But I got to say, Patriots, like, if you think Mac Jones is your quarterback, and you're going to go all in on him, get him some weapons to throw to. You can only go so long without having receivers.
Yeah. Other one I missed. Smash the under on the Jets. Zach Wilson's garbage. Connor?
Are we staying in the AFC East?
Yeah, we're just going to go division by division.
Bills are going to get over 11.5.
Yeah, I can see the Bills, they smash the Dolphins every time they play them. So I'm looking at 6 free wins because they crushed the Patriots if the weather wasn't terrible, right?
I think that they're the new, what was the division before? The new Titans division. I think they're the Titans of 2 years ago, where it's just them and everyone else. Zach Wilson sucks. He'll be done in 3 years.
And that's 3 years too many.
2 years.
I mean, they're going to maybe try and do the same thing. They're going to try and sign. They're supposed to draft another wide receiver. They gave Corey Davis a bunch of money. Wilson can't read a defense still. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's head over to the AFC North. The Browns number is made up by me. I just put it at 10 because it seemed about right. Tied with the Bengals, Chargers, and Broncos. So that you can't
even say anything in this division yet. You don't even know if Deshaun Watson's going to be suspended or not.
Yeah, so I was going to say that I gave the Browns 10 wins, but if you think if Watson's going to be suspended, you might as well just smash the under there. But
I don't know. I kind of, like the Ravens as a post-hype team. Like, they had so many injuries last year. Their team's gonna come back this year. They didn't have a defense last year, pretty much. But I can see him, especially with 17 games, getting over that 9.5. But the Browns, I don't know. Like I've said numerous times to you guys, I got to see it first. There's a bunch of big changes. Who knows how long Watson's out, if he misses games this year, if it's next year. Who knows? Too many question marks. You got to stay away from that one.
So I'm looking at the Bengals at 10 wins, and I thought their defense played way over their skis last year, but now they got a whole new offensive line. It makes me... I wanted to hit the under, and then I just keep thinking, it's like, all right, I can't bet against Joe Burrow and T. Higgins, they're elite receiving options. So
all of them, yes.
Yeah, and then but the Steelers. Sorry, the Steelers is the big one for me. I feel like the Steelers are gonna get 8 wins, 9 wins. It's Mike Tomlin. It's what he does. He floats around 500. He doesn't go under. And I think Mitch Trubisky is actually an upgrade over what Ben Roethlisberger was last year. I don't know. I'm surprised that one is coming in so low to start. It all depends on the draft. This is all pre-draft, so.
Yeah, definitely got to wait.
AFC South, I have no opinions besides smash the under on the Jags. They just lit all their money on fire, and I feel so bad for Trevor Lawrence. He will be a great piece on whatever team picks him up next. Maybe the Dolphins. Maybe, I don't even know, the Buccaneers or the Packers. Someone's going to be so happy that the Jaguars run him out of town because they keep losing. And it's not his fault.
I don't think they're going to run him out of town. They're going to keep losing. They're going to keep saying it's not his fault, which probably isn't. But, I mean, they've invested. I mean, he's the biggest guy to come out since Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning before then. I'm sorry, you can't give up on that. But my big thing is I actually really like the Titans. I mean, they got destroyed last year. A.J. Brown missed a handful of games. Julio never really even played for him. Derrick Henry missed a bunch. Whole offense gone. Oh, they ended up as the number 1 seed in the playoffs. I love Mike Vrabel. I don't think they're tying with the Colts. Wherever this over-under ends up, I think the Titans end up running away with the division.
Connor?
Win the division, but how'd they do in the playoffs, though?
This is regular season. We're talking about regular season.
They were 1 pass away from going to the AFC Championship, if I remember correctly. Of course, they got picked off, and then Joe Burrow was Joe Burrow.
Oh! That's an important pass.
They lost to the almost Super Bowl champs. They almost beat the almost Super Bowl champs.
They almost won a Super Bowl is what we're getting at.
There we go. Oh, and down when it benefits your argument, here we go. The almost Super Bowl winning Bengals. And the almost elite T. Higgins. Oh.
Nailed it. You nailed it. He's almost elite.
Dude, almost.
All right, let's go to the big division everyone wants to know, AFC West. I know we brought it up previously. The Raiders in the NFC are a 10.5 win team. Well, I don't know exactly about 10.5, but I'm looking at them in the same breath as the Cowboys and I guess the little bit above the Cardinals. But like in the AFC West,
Chargers.
You're taking the Chargers in this division?
Yes, Chiefs are gonna be under 11. They haven't done anything for their defense. They just lost Tyrann Mathieu. They got a bunch of dead money in Mahomes, MBS, and Andy Reid and Juju Smith-Schuster. Not convinced that they can take this now.
Actually, Connor, I don't think we heard your opinion on the Broncos previously. With Russell Wilson.
They're a dark horse. I just sometimes it doesn't always go. I just have a weird feeling about him being in Denver. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's a match made in heaven." Him and Nathan Hackett, and I'm just, I don't know. Nathan Hackett's been with Aaron Rodgers the entire time that he's been relevant, and I wonder who's making who better. He's. I don't know. That just, to me, that it was a good fit. I want the Broncos to do well. I like Russell Wilson. I think he is unbelievable. I don't know if it just automatically clicks. You got the guys they're also still trying to figure out if they want Javonte. They want to give it up to Javonte Williams, or they want to keep Melvin Gordon. And that just tells me, hey, just keep running the ball. And I don't know if that changes, and you just got $70 million tied up between Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, and I hope, but to me, you got a guy who's going to be in his third year who is on his way up. And you just said, hey, man, want that ginormous receiver who only had one good year? Yes. All right, we'll keep it intact. Hey, you want to just run this back where we don't have a coach that decides to go for every fourth down on every situation everywhere? Huh. Yes. All right, we'll do that. Then we have 11 wins. Then we have 12 wins. That would be the Chargers, my friends.
I really want the Chargers to do well. I really do. But I don't know. You make all these changes, or you start investing big, but I can't not bet on the Chiefs till I see it. That's how I am. But I would just say there's so much that can happen.
Hey, Bruce Arians just retired.
Like right now?
He's moving to the front office.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Leaving the front office, is he coaching? I mean, does
he's retiring from coaching and moving into front office.
You know what that is? All right. Ken, any over-unders real quick? We'll go right over to the NFC South. I can't wait to talk about this.
I'm passing on the whole AFC West. There's just too much that could happen.
Chargers over 10.
Chargers over 10, Chiefs under 11. I'm with you. And the Raiders, I'm so sorry. I wish I could take their over, but it's like they have 4 or 5 losses in division. All right, NFC South, Bruce Arians. Tom Brady just ran him out of town because he got sick of running the ball on 1st and 10 for 1 yard and having to throw the Buccaneers out of this. NFC South, yeah, there's no one good in that division. Buccaneers over 11.5 wins. NFC champs, they're going to the Super Bowl.
I gotta say, I like Todd Bowles as a coach. I'm sorry, he did awful with the Jets. That's because the Jets suck. Sorry. Let's give him a good team. Also, he doesn't have to coach too much. Tom Brady's there. Let him do his thing.
Well, you have Tom Brady running the offense, so you make a defensive guy your head coach. Makes sense.
Exactly.
Connor?
Yeah, but Byron Leftwich. Byron Leftwich is about why you think Byron Leftwich didn't get any jobs or didn't take any jobs. Probably was sitting there like, yo, Bruce told me he might leave. You know what? I don't actually want your job that much.
Who was it? I think the
Really?
the Jags legitimately offered him the position, and he's like, "Ha! I got a way better one coming."
I think that all they do is quite literally take Byron Leftwich or Todd Bowles and promote him and leave everything else the same.
Yep.
Have each one appoint whoever.
They said they picked Todd Bowles. They picked Todd.
They
Bowles.
did. Oh, they did. Hey, that's fine. Todd Bowles is fine.
He has the head coaching experience. I mean, when he coached the Jets, that was the Ryan Fitzmagic year, right? When they went 10-6 and they may have just missed the playoffs because they lost in week 17. Other teams in this division, though, Falcons under 5.5. The big thing about win totals for me is they are always optimistic because people want to bet on their teams to do good. And the Falcons, we talked about it. They were just 7-10, and they got way worse. They have done nothing.
Send Bakey down there.
Huh?
Send Bakey down there.
No, they don't want them because they're smart.
Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, they
can play football there.
They have Marcus Mariota, and then they lost Russell Gage. They don't have Calvin Ridley, and they didn't get any receivers. They're gonna be drafting some rookie. I just don't see. They didn't do anything to improve their team, and they got markedly worse this year. So under 5.5, it's not gonna be pretty for them. All right, let's go on then to the NFC East. This is just another the Cowboys have so much more talent than all of these teams. But I'm sitting here, and if I could, I would bet on the Cowboys just not to win the division because they've lost a lot of good players. They're going to lose the ability to use Micah Parsons as a chess piece. Trayvon Diggs isn't going to get 11 interceptions again from jumping routes. People know how to attack him. And now their offense lost Cedric Wilson and Amari Cooper at receiver. Yeah, Gallup and Lamb are good. But the reason they were so good is because their depth was so big. I'm going under on Cowboys.
Tore his ACL in the last week. Gallup tore his ACL in the last week. I'm sorry. What are you expecting him for week 1?
Yeah, I am. Cam Akers, 4 months. So that's the new timetable. So anyone else taking anything here? I think I go under on the Giants because Connor and I were talking before this, and they haven't done anything this offseason to do anything. And they suck.
Why are they so high? Yeah. They lost Evan Ingram, their core offensive player. Yeah.
Because everybody else in that division sucks.
Good point.
They're all good.
I kind of like the Eagles. I don't know.
Carson Wentz is in that division. Carson Wentz went there.
Yeah, the Eagles, if they started Gardner Minshew, man, I'd smash that over.
By the way, I'm so disappointed that Minshew didn't get a job somewhere. Give that guy a chance.
Mustache Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I say mustache even though they both had him because this is so much better. So like I said, I got Cowboys under, Giants under. You guys have any other takes?
Stay away from this division. It sucks.
Yep. All right, let's go on. NFC North. This is exactly what I would expect, and I am going to hit the over on the Vikings. At some point, they got to stop being 9-7 and have a good year. So I'm thinking they're my underdog pick to win their division. They're not as good. The Packers are a markedly better team, but crazy crap happens every NFL season, and the Vikings outperforming and finally having a good year with Justin Jefferson and all the receiving options, I think finally comes to fruition.
I gotta say, I want the Bears to win over 7. I want to see Justin Fields succeed. I want to see the Bears put him in, an atmosphere to win. I just don't know if I see it happening though. I think just another lost year for the Bears.
Connor, I know you love your Dan Campbell. Are you willing to put Dan Campbell your money where your mouth is there?
Oh, I'm not. Answer is no. Man, I want to say that the Packers are going to hit under.
That's a good one. That agrees with my Vikings pick, so I'm happy. You should do it.
I'll have to wait and see what they do. They have done nothing outside of sign a ginormously stupid contract. So I don't know.
this whole division's just a lack of receiving options minus the Vikings, right? The Packers have no one now. The Bears have even less than no one. And then the Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown. And did they sign? I think they signed someone else, but it was like they overpaid for what I thought was an average receiver.
They repaid or they re-signed Josh Reynolds.
Okay, maybe that's what it
They
was.
picked somebody else up too. I can't remember who.
Did they?
Yeah, I can't remember though.
Yeah. So
They overpaid. They definitely paid.
I don't know. There's just nothing in this division that, like, it's going to be a boring division to watch now. Although
DJ Chark.
DJ Chark. That's a terrible pickup. See, that's my point. Did nothing
Hey,
impressive.
$10 million a year, man. Cheap.
All right, let's go now to the NFC West. This was, what, I think going into last year, this was right neck and neck with the AFC West as the best divisions in football. Still kind of there, but it's definitely a step below because of the quarterback play. But I'm looking
Go
here.
Kyler.
I was going to say, if Cliff Kingsbury wasn't in Arizona, I would absolutely take the over on Cardinals 9 wins. But you know what? They're going to be 7-2 at the 9-week mark, and they're going to be struggling to get past that 9-win total. Give me the Seahawks under, by the way. Drew Lock sucks. I think what I'm learning from these totals is that if your quarterback sucks, I am more than happy to say your team's awful. I'm taking the under.
10 wins is a lot, but man, I just want to see the 49ers do good. I want Trey Lance to be what everyone in San Fran thinks he's going to be. I don't know. I'd like to see him win the division, but you got the Rams there, man.
Rams. I don't want to say over, but Rams are going to win the division.
Rams are definitely winning the division.
So how much has the Super Bowl influenced your opinion? Because last year we were all like, the Rams are always going to blow it. They have Matt Stafford. It just seems like the team that's going to choke it away. But now that I actually saw them win a Super Bowl, they got Allen Robinson, which I'm not going to say Robert Wood, or actually I did. Allen Robinson has elite talent, and I can't wait for him to get the one-on-one treatment that Odell did. If they bring back Odell, I think the Rams.
Woods went to the Titans, didn't he?
Huh?
Robert Woods, I thought, went to the Titans.
He did. I was saying replacing him with Allen Robinson is a big upgrade.
But like Allen Robinson's just a very different receiver than Robert Woods. I don't know. I'm a Robert Woods believer. I think they're both really good, but I think Allen Robinson definitely is better. They just do different things.
Well, I think they like that because in the Super Bowl, that Robinson plays similar to Odell on the outside. Is my point.
Yeah.
And they realized how much they can benefit from that because of Cup.
Odell tore the exact same ACL he did, a year ago, and he did it in the Super Bowl. I mean, if you're getting him back, you're aiming. I mean, he missed till like week 4 or something like that this year. I can't remember how long, but
that's because Baker was his quarterback.
But I mean, that's a rough injury to come back from. Like if the Rams are doing it, it's because they're getting ready for that. They want him for a postseason push. Like they're not looking for him week 1. So I think it's a little different. But I mean, Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, great. I mean, that's. I'm sure we'll talk about wide receiver duos, and I'm sure you guys will have some pretty strong opinions. But that's going to be my number 1.
It's not. I'm sorry. I'm over here saying they're both. I'm saying Allen Robinson has elite talent, and Cooper Kupp is obviously, currently wearing the crown of best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
But if I'm going forward and I got my franchise value on my young receivers, how can I not take the Bengals?
We're not talking franchise. We're talking this year.
I got Tyler Boyd too, though. Like, come on.
I said duos. I said wide receiver duos.
Let's not go too far. Tyler Boyd kind of sucks. So.
Tyler Boyd is a 1,000-yard receiver and is a solid slot as like a guy you forget about. He's going to come out and have a couple 100-yard games. He's a 750-yard, 5-touchdown receiver.
We can save it for another day, boys.
Solid 3. He's a solid 3.
That's what I'm saying. He's better than Van Jefferson as a 3 is my point. All right. That's all. We have nothing else to talk about. Connor has some taquitos coming. You enjoy them. The famous food of our show. So Thanks for listening. Again, like, subscribe, comment. Let us know your thoughts and, if there's any over-under totals you like. See you guys.
Later, guys.